Okay. That's one of the things we're trying to do out in D16. We're trying to get people involved that have been disenfranchised with it. We've had a little bit of success. Not like D18 had like 200 people show up at their fucking district meeting. We had like 12. But we're working there. We're getting it. I mean,
well, they haven't done a lot to reach out to us. They haven't done their outreach. If somebody like reached out to me and encouraged me and gave me reasons why I should rejoin the Democratic Party because I left.
I did too.
Peace. See you later. I don't identify with you because you guys are this mean girls club and you're not being inclusive. You're being an exclusive group. And I could say that by and large of the Democratic Party as a whole. And, when I grew up, I was a Democrat. My parents were Democrats. My grandparents were Democrats. And I thought it was the party of the middle class, the working class.
Right.
And it was an inclusive group of people. And I was so excited to sign up for the Democratic Party when I turned 18. And now I'm like, I don't even feel welcome, as a progressive.
Well, and that's the problem with the party is that they've like over the past 2-3 years, they've gone to almost completely electronic fundraising. Okay, when we first got this wonderful bus of ours, I actually submitted an email to all the chairs for the districts and the county parties and the state party, and said, look, here's an idea. Okay. There's probably a lot of Democrats out there that have RVs. We could turn those into like little mobile information stands that can go to all these different little small towns that never see anybody show up. All the party would have to do is maybe chip in on gas, but you could just load everything up. You drive in, you pop everything out, boom, instant town hall. And I think I sent the email to 55 people and 4 responded. Yeah.
Well, it's about using the resources that are at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Electronic fundraising doesn't work because we, especially in Arizona, have a lot of retirees.
Mm-hmm.
We have people who don't work that way, and they want to have the face-to-face contact with parties.
Right.
It's the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and by going mostly electronic, it's also kind of separating the party from the people that are supposed to be supporting it.
Exactly.
One of the things that I've been trying to get them to do for at least 6 years is to start having fundraisers that didn't cost an arm and a leg and that were family friendly.
$100 gala is not a cool thing.
No.
Sorry.
It's not.
Well,
If that's your only source aside from the donors that are probably all going to die off in the next 10 years, not cool.
Sponsored by ADP.
And I've been actually trying to get the county parties and the state parties and stuff like that actually have like fundraisers where it costs people $20 and they can bring their family and it can be like a day out at the park, a big brouhaha or something like that. Because realistically, if you get a couple thousand people donating $25 an hour, it's much better than that 100 people doing $150 an hour. Yeah. And it makes people feel included. It makes people feel a part of it. And that's something that's sorely missing in politics these days is people don't feel a part of it. Now, one of the things that we're working on in our districts is that we're going to try to work with District 25 and 12, which border us, to actually pool resources, because we're all 3 extremely red districts. Probably all 3 of the districts are probably in the top 5 reddest districts in the state. So the 3 districts are going to start working together to try to pool resources and actually have like I think we're going to have a bowling fundraiser sometime soon where all 3 districts come together and we actually have this big fundraiser at a bowling alley, which will be really cool.
Especially as we're coming up on the kind of hot time.
And you know what I find so cool about that? Like the Bernie Sanders campaign really did it so well. You could post your event on the website, and it's like if you wanted to find a Bernie event, bowling. I did yoga. A donation yoga class for Bernie, and I took all the funds that were raised and I donated it to the campaign or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he really used that.
Right.
Both interfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the thing is we need to start thinking outside the box. We need for fundraising, because if you really want you don't want your volunteers to think that the only reason you're wanting them to help is so they can walk and get signatures and make phone calls. You want them to feel part of it, entitled of doing something themselves that benefits the party as opposed to
Absolutely.
the party benefiting from their existence. So
I'm not a big fan of that doing it either, but you know what? Bernie made it feel so important that we got out and did it. My parents did it.
Yeah.
You know, they're in their 80s.
mm-hmm.
And, you know, to be a part of something larger, I mean, everybody, it's a little incentive.
Right. Yeah, and that's what drives people, and that's why Bernie had such a good following with millennials, is because he made millennials feel empowered to do something
Yeah,
different.
he didn't make them feel obligated.
Totally.
Right. No obligation. He didn't downplay them and downsize them and make them feel insignificant like everybody else seems to do. He actually brought them out by the thousands. And that's one of the problems I have with the past election cycle is nobody fucking listened. Okay. The people in the United States were telling the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, we are tired of establishment.
And they still are not listening.
They're still not listening.
Oh, they're listening. They just
They
don't
just
want to
ignore-
hear what
yeah,
we
they
have
don't
to
wanna hear
say.
it.
Yeah, they're plugging their ears going, la, 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 la,
The
la,
Democratic Party has become center to right.
Well,
As
it
far as
has
it's-
been forever.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's
But the big
moving.
point, though.
Uh-oh. We didn't do it.
Oh, shit. We're hearing sirens. It wasn't us. I swear. We haven't blown up anything, or
Yet.
we're not streaking through the camping
Well,
lot.
that's because we can't get too far with these headphone cables.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll work on that later. But the biggest thing is that, for example, Donald Trump had 17 Republican competitors. And all 17 competitors were all establishment Republicans, shouting the same
Absolutely.
fucking thing.
Yep.
And all the Republicans said, okay, we're tired of that. We don't want that anymore. And they did not listen. And what did they end up with? Donald Trump is their nominee.
Yep.
The Democratic Party did not listen. It didn't listen to the millennials saying, we want Bernie. It didn't listen to the fact that people are tired of establishment politics. And what did we get? We got Hillary, and she lost.
And they are still not listening. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, they're tone deaf. They're tone deaf to what is going to allow them to win elections, is being pliable and putting their finger on the pulse of what is actually going on with millennials.
Oh,
Right.
we've done it this way for
know?
so long, and it's not working,
Exactly.
so try something different.
Yeah, right? Try something different.
The definition
Which
of
is what
fucking
we did.
insanity.
And we got shit for it. Of course, we were, two of five candidates that showed up at the strip club for that event.
Which was a great idea.
That was
It was
awesome, huh?
awesome. It really
Awesome.
was, because a lot of people, we had people that were supporting Donald Trump that said, if I was in your district, I'd vote for you.
Yeah. It's a
They're
great
going to vote
idea.
for Trump because they can't stand Hillary, but if I was in your district, I would vote for you because we took the time to go to some place where they feel comfortable. And until the Democratic Party starts doing that,
They're going to lose
They're gonna lose.
election after election after election. And the thing is that they won't bring in people who are speaking not against them, but sharing different ideas
right?
about things. They want to, have a bunch of yes men around them.
They want to keep it comfortable.
Keep it comfortable.
Oh, I hate that.
And until they're willing to get a little bit uncomfortable and hear what everybody has to say, they're
Right.
going to continue to lose.
Well,
Why
I think
preach to
the big
choir?
point is, for example, is the Democratic Party in Arizona has lost every statewide race for the past 6 years.
Good Lord.
Every single statewide race, it's lost. That should be a good indication that doing the things the same way over and over again is not working.
No, they just put a focus on, all you fucking people who voted for third party. Dude, we're
Oh,
not the
God.
fucking enemy.
Actually,
Knock
the
it
third
off.
party voters in Arizona helped
Help
Trump.
Trump.
No, they
Or
hurt Trump.
they helped Hillary.
They,
hurt
no,
Trump.
they didn't help Hillary, but they didn't hurt her either. They hurt Trump.
There's some serious shit going on the bus.
Did you feed them?
They had little bits, but not
Okay.
a full out meal.
She has to go to the bathroom. Just so you guys that are listening in, she's going to go in there. She's going to open the door. She's going to get barked at. So we're going to go ahead and go do a couple of PSAs now. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about strategy and stuff like that.
Are you worried about what your money is paying for when you pay your insurance bill? How many times have you seen a company or agent helping a cause you disagree with? It happens again and again and again. Progressives who want to make sure that they are helping the issues they care about have an agent on their side. Matthew Serra is here to help you save money on your insurance and give you the comfort of mind knowing that you are supporting causes that you hold dear. To see if he can save you money, contact him at 602-753-8574. Make sure you are saving money today.
My name is Scott Pryor, chair of Arizona's LD16 Democrats. One of the things I have noticed since I became active in politics in 2012 is that people in general have increased their value of political affiliation over the value of humanity and community. Interpersonal communication has become more defined by our online communications and less defined by our face-to-face interactions. This has drastically reduced our ability to empathize with one another and find common ground to create real conversation and real solutions. If you frequent Facebook or Twitter or some of the other social media websites, you will see that many people are referring to each other as liberals or conservatives or libtards or Republicans. And many times, what starts as a real logical conversation becomes useless as people move from logical discourse to online shouting matches and name-calling. This type of behavior really must change. As chair of the LD16 Democrats, our local party will begin moving in a new direction. Instead of focusing on political change, we will begin focusing on changing ourselves and our communities. We will attempt to work together with others to help create better communication through cooperation, such as food and clothing drives, friendly competitions such as bowling, riflery, softball games, and yes, even karaoke. Our goal is to try to take the political affiliation out of the primary focus of all of our communications and start treating people as individuals, neighbors, and friends. As a gesture of this new focus, I will begin working to provide free educational seminars to the public, which will give people the proper tools necessary to not only participate in the state governmental process, but also interact with the different committees and legislators that are at the Capitol to represent us. I look forward to the future and hope that we can all begin to work together to create better solutions for all the people in our community.
Hello, my name is Michelle Short. Stu DeHaan and myself are co-chapter heads of the Arizona chapter to the Satanic Temple. Our chapter was given birth in February of 2016 in the aftermath of our first and biggest challenge, when we requested to perform our invocation in front of the Phoenix City Council on behalf of the Satanic Temple. As Satanists that worship through activism, the mission of the Satanic Temple is to encourage benevolence and empathy among all people, reject tyrannical authority, advocate practical common sense and justice, and be directed by the human conscience to undertake noble pursuits guided by the individual will. Civic-minded, the Satanic Temple has been involved in a number of good works, including fighting for women's body autonomy, religious plurality in public forums, working on behalf of children in public school who have been subjected to proselytizing and corporal punishment, and much, much more. As an organized religion, we feel it is our function to actively provide outreach, to lead by example, and to participate in public affairs, wheresoever the issues might benefit from rational satanic insights. As Satanists, we should all be guided by our consciences to undertake noble pursuits guided by our individual wills. We believe that this is a hope for all mankind and the aspiration for all humanity. For more information, please visit our websites, thesatanictemple.com and thesatanictemplearizona.com.